Good day, sir. Good day, everyone. So, this is my final examination in institutional correction. So, let's move. So, the number one is the section 4, grant of provision. So, subject to provisions of this degree, the trial court may after its or shall have convicted and sentenced a defendant for a provisional penalty and upon application by said defendant within the period of perfecting an appeal, suspended the execution of the sentence, and place defendant on provision for such period upon such terms and condition as may deem best. No application for provision shall entertained or granted of the defendant as perfected the appeal from the judgment of conviction provided. So the trial court shall upon receipt of the application filed suspend the execution of the sentence imposed in the judgment. This notwithstanding, an accused shall lose the benefits provision should he seek a review of the modified decisions which already impose a provision penalty. So provision may be granted whether the sentence imposes a term of imprisonment or fine only. The filing of the application shall be deemed a waiver of the right to appeal. An order granting or denying provision shall not be appealable. So, the deep meaning in this section, the section 4, the grant of provision, lies its potential to offer individuals a chance to rehabilitation and reintegration accountable for their actions. It acknowledges the punishment alone may not always be the most effective approach to address criminal behavior and aims to balance the interests of public safety with the potential for personal growth and redemption. So let's move the section 5. The section 5 is post-sentence investigation. No person shall be placed on probation except upon prior investigation by the probation officer and the determination by the court that the ends of justice and the best interest of the public as well as that of the defendant will be served thereby. So in this section, post-sentence in this context might be a concluding remark or reflection that carries a deeper meaning beyond the surface findings. So next is the section 6, form of investigation report. The investigation report to be submitted by the probation officer under section 5 hereof shall be in the form prescribed by the probation administrator and approved by the Secretary of Justice. So in an investigation report, or Section 6 often involves recommendations, conclusions, or suggested actions based on the findings. A deeper meaning in this section could involve reflecting on the broader significance of the investigation's outcomes and proposing transformative changes. So next is the Section 7, period of submission of investigation report. The provision officer shall be submit to the court the investigation report from the defendant not later than 60 days from receipt of the order of said court to conduct the investigation. So in the period of submission of investigation report, the submission of the investigation report is typically mentioned, indicating the timeline for when the report was completed and submitted. So this is the 60 days, not later than 60 days. So adding a deeper meaning could involve reflecting on the significance of timely reporting and the importance of accountability. So next is the section 8, the criteria for placing an offender on probation. So in determining whether an offender may be placed on probation, the court shall consider all information relative to the character and antecedents, environment, mental and physical condition of the offender, and available institutional and community resources. Probation shall be denied if the court finds that a. The offender is in need of correctional treatment that can be provided most effectively by his commitment to our institutions, or b. There is undue risks that during the period of probation the offender will commit another crime, or last, the C provision shall depreciate the seriousness of the offense committed. So in this section, where criteria for placing an offender probation are outlined, adding could involve discussing the rehabilitative goals of provision and the balance between accountability and support for individuals to reintegrate into society. So next is the section 9, that is qualified offenders. The benefits of this decree shall not be extended to those A. Sentenced to serve a maximum term of imprisonment for more than 6 years. Next, B. Convicted of any offense against the security of the state. C. Who have previously been convicted by final judgment of an offense punished by imprisonment of not less than 1 month and 1 day, and or fine of not less than 200 pesos. D. Who have been in once on probation under the provisions of this decree. And the last, E. Who are already serving sentence at the time the substantive provision of this decree became applicable pursuant to section 33 hereof. So in this section, section 9, where disqualified offenders are addressed, a deeper exploration could involve examining the societal implications of disqualification and the potential of redemption and second changes. So next is the section 10, the conditions of provisions. Every provision order issued by the court shall contain conditions requiring that the provision shall A. Present himself to the probation officer designate to undertake his supervision at such place as may be specified in the order within 72 hours from receipt of said order. B. Report to the probation officer at least once a month at such time and places as specified by said officer. The court may also require the probationer to A. Cooperate with the program of supervision. B. Meet his family responsibilities. C. Devote himself to a specific employment and not change said employment without the prior written approval of the probation officer. So the last is D. Undergo medical, psychological, or psychiatric examination and treatment and enter and remain in a specified institution when required for that purpose. So in this section, where the conditions of the provisions are outlined, delving into deeper meaning could involve discussing the rehabilitative goals of provision and the balance between accountability and support for individuals to successfully reintegrate into society. So next is the section 11, the effectivity of provision order. A provision order shall take effect upon its issuance, at which time the court shall inform the offender of the consequences thereof and explain that upon his failure to comply with any of the conditions prescribed in the said order or his commission of any offense, he shall serve the penalty imposed for the offense under which he was placed on provision. So in this section, discussing the effectiveness of the provision, orders could involve exploring the broader impact of provision on individuals' rehabilitation, community safety, and the justice system as a whole. So next is the section 11, modification of condition of provision. During the period of provision, the court may, upon implications of either the provisioner or the probation officer, revise or modify the conditions of period of provision. The court shall notify either the provisioner or the provision of officer of the filing such as an implication, so as it give both parties an opportunity to be heard thereon. The court shall inform in writing the provision officer and the provisioner of any change in the period of conditions of provision. So in this section, discussing the modification of provisions, conditions could involve examining the balance between accountability and support, as well as the importance and tailoring conditions to individuals involving needs and circumstances. So the next or last is the section 13, control and supervision of provision. So the provisioner and his provision program shall be under the control of the court, who place him on probation subjects to act supervision and visitation by a provision officer. Whenever a provisioner is permitted to reside in a place under the jurisdiction of another court, control over him shall be transferred to the executive judge of the court of first instance of that place. And in such a case, a copy of the provision order, investigation report, and other pertinent records shall be furnished said executive judge. Thereafter, the executive judge to whom jurisdiction over the provisioner is transferred shall have the power with respect to him that was provisionally posed by the court which granted the provision. So in this section, the controlled supervision of probation uh, could involve exploring the balance between oversight and rehabilitation and support, as well as the broader goals of rehabilitation and community safety. So that's all. Thank you.